Hi ladies, and welcome back to Sisters at Our Best. If this is the first time you're joining me, I am Renee and I make videos every Thursdays, and you can check out my sister Shanice on her day, which is on Tuesdays, and she makes videos about her life. So I hope that you do enjoy this channel, and if you do like it, subscribe. And if you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Just try it. It doesn't hurt. I'm telling you, press the button. Nothing will happen. So today's video is going to be how to repair your credit score. Now, if you're watching this video, you're probably trying to either get a mortgage, a credit card, a car, or something that you actually need at this moment. Now, there's a big disclaimer that I need to tell you, is that nothing can actually repair your credit score overnight unless there is an error on your credit report. That's the only thing that can actually change your credit score overnight. The tips that I'm about to give you are tips that will help you in the long term. This can take 3 to 6 months to actually come back to a good score. So let's jump into tip number 1. Tip number 1 is, even if your credit cards are maxed out, do not cancel your credit card. If you paid them off, do not cancel them. If the company that you owe money to canceled your card, there's nothing you can do about it. But if that's not the case, do not cancel the credit cards. Take the cards and freeze them. Put them in a bucket of ice and put them in a block of ice and literally freeze the cards, or hide them in a place that will take you like Mount Everest kind of climbing, okay, to actually get to those cards. Or hide it from yourself. Do something. Bury it in the backyard. I don't care what you do, but just keep them away from you so that you cannot actually use it. Because I know if you have a maxed out credit card, you feel like if you put money on the card, spend that money, it's as if you're making a payment. You're not fooling anyone. You're only fooling yourself in that case, okay? So just get those cards away from you. And that's just the major thing. And do not cancel your card, especially if you want to get a mortgage or some kind of car loan or something later on, and in the foreseeable future. Do not cancel those cards. Number 2 is to use one card. And now, preferably when you're using that one card, it has to have a low balance. Okay? Don't be using a $9,000 card limit, because then you're going to be tempted to spend more than you actually need to be spending. So get a card that's like a $250 card or a $500 card. That card should be enough that you can cover your basic expenses, in the sense, okay? Not your mortgage, not bills, we're talking about payments like your gas or your food, or just stuff that you buy every single day that you constantly have money for. So how do you use it? Let's say you have $200 for gas every month and you have $300 for food every month. Then you're gonna get a card that has a limit of $500. Then when you go to buy gas or food, you're gonna use that card. That card has a limit. So you know that you cannot overspend on that card, because if you overspend on food, you won't have enough for gas, and vice versa. So what you do with the money that you actually have, which is coming from your paycheck, you take that money and you put it into a savings account, and then when the statement comes for you to pay that bill or to pay that credit card, you pay it off. You still have to pay the ones that you owe money on, but those cards, right, are going to be constantly being paid. All your extra money is going to go towards that. You still need an emergency fund. As I told you last week, an emergency fund is super important. So you need an emergency fund. So whatever money you decided that you're going to put towards your emergency fund, do it. Because if an emergency does come up, your credit cards will not matter to you. What will matter is the emergency. So look at what your priorities are. You put the money towards your emergency fund. You have the money for groceries and food. Your rent is paid. Now you take care and your bills that are necessary. So as I said in a previous video, your electricity, heat, the way to get to work, these are things that are necessary, because why is a way to get to work necessary? Because you need to make money so that you can pay your bills. That's a necessity. So you make sure those are covered. So now there's the small card that is constantly being used, which is giving you good credit information, in the sense of you're giving the bureau, the credit bureau, good information about yourself. Even though there's bad information about you in their report and in their system, you're still creating a good credit flow. So you're going to take that money, that $500, and you're going to constantly be saving that amount of money on your card. When the statement comes in, you take all the money that you saved, you put it on the card, you clear it, and then that's how you keep having a good rapport with the credit bureau. So there's one card doing good. Now, the other cards that have been doing bad, you're going to constantly be putting money on those cards. You cannot use it. It's buried, it's hidden. You cannot use it in any way, shape, or form. Forget you even knew the number by heart. And you're going to constantly be putting every extra penny, every extra cash, you're just paying it down, paying it down, paying it down. Once the cards are paid off, you're going to ask the credit bureau to send you a letter saying that it's been paid in full. You're going to take that letter and you're going to put it in a box that you can reach at any time, because what's going to happen when you have a bad credit record, if you have an R9 or if the card has been closed or whatever the case may be with that card, you're going to have to prove to the bank, if you're getting a mortgage or a car loan, you have to prove to them that the card has been paid off. And some companies don't report to the credit bureau every single month. Some companies report every 3 months. Some companies report every 6 months. Okay? So you're going to have to just have proof that that card has been paid off or that loan has been paid off. Number 3 is to use the same bank for everything. Now, this is a wishy-washy rule. If you know that you're bad with credit, you don't want to have your bank account with that same bank. The bank has the right, if you do not pay your card, to actually go into your bank account and take the money to pay the card off. And you don't really want that if you're not responsible with money. But the upside, that's why this rule is a bit wishy-washy, is if you have a savings account and a bank account with that bank, they're more likely to give you a credit card with them. Sometimes it's a secure credit card and sometimes it's not. A secure credit card means that you gave the money, you gave a deposit to get the card. So let's say you wanted a $500 card, you give them a $1,000 deposit, and then you will use $500 out of that card, right? Or you gave them a $500 deposit and you'll use $500 as your limit on that card. So if you don't pay, they have a security measure to actually get the money back. But when the bank sees that you are paying the card on a regular basis, which is what you're doing, which was my last tip, and then you are saving money on a regular basis. Now, saving money is not the same as what I was saying before, because yes, you're taking the money for your groceries and you're putting it on that card, but you also have that emergency fund. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about? That emergency fund is being saved. So those are 2 different accounts. There's the money you save for your groceries, but then there's your savings, which is your emergency fund. And the bank is watching you save. So when it's time for your mortgage or a car loan or something, that a business loan or whatever the case may be, the bank is going to see over time, so this can take months to years, over time, the bank is going to see that you're paying card on time, you're paying off all your debt as a responsible adult, you have the money saving for your emergency fund that's constantly growing. So it's showing your responsibility to one person. It's like if you were a bad kid, right? Everybody knows you're a bad kid, but there's that one person that you're really good to, and they will defend you no matter what. They're like, no, I know my Thomas would never do anything bad. There's that one person that just knows you, that will trust you and give you anything you want because they know the quality of you. Well, this is the relationship that you don't want to F up. So with your bank, you create this circle of trust. By you having this trust, it's showing that a bank trusts you. There's somebody out there that really puts their faith in you, okay? Because what happens with bad credit is that you lose the trust, right? You lose the trust with your lenders, and they're just like, nah, sorry, can't give it to you because you know what? You didn't pay this on time, you didn't do this on time. When you have those letters saying that I paid these all off in full, and I'm saving and everything is good in my life, well, this is how you regain that trust. And this is how you repair your credit score. Now, as I said, it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take some time, but those are 3 things that you can do to just get the ball rolling. The worst thing you can do is go and ask for loans everywhere. That just messes up your credit even more. The more no's you get, the worse your score is getting. The next worst thing that you can do is to go and get a car loan. I know a lot of people will go and get a car loan even with bad credit. Do you know why those car companies or even mortgage companies or loan sharks, you know why they want you? Because you are the person who's desperate enough for money that you will pay whatever interest rate that they give you. There's some companies that will charge people 29% interest. And you're telling me, some people will say, oh, no, they don't. It's 9%. No, it's 9% until you F up, until you don't pay them on time. And then they have a right to add percentages to the money that you owe. And you never get out of it. And they like that. That's how they built their business, and that's what they do, okay? So don't fall for that trap. Do not be credit hungry. Do not run around trying to get credit, because it doesn't help anyone. It doesn't help you, and it does not help the future you either, right? So those are my 3 tips. I hope that you stick to it. And if right now you're in an emergency, you're in a bind, and you really, really, really need money, okay? I understand. You're going to do what you need to do. But if you only need a new pair of shoes, don't do it. If you only need that shiny new car to impress people that frankly in 2 weeks won't care about you and will not give you the attention and the love and the appreciation that you deserve, do not do it. Wait. If you just take your time, I'm telling you, it will all work out. So, tip number 1 is do not cancel any of your credit cards. Hide them, bury them, do something, but do not cancel it. It's going to hurt you more than you want. Number 2, use one card is my second thing that I want you guys to do is just pick one card, low limit, and pay it off every single month. Just build that credit relationship, build that good credit history, build good credit. That's the big thing. Just build it. Number 3, use the same card, use the same bank, okay? So if you're looking at your bank and you're using that one card with the same bank, you're saving your emergency fund with that bank, you're creating a great credit relationship with that bank, and they're going to give you more than you could ever dream of, because the more history that you have with somebody, just like a person, is the more trust and the more that you're going to get from them. Those are my tips for this week. My lips are dry. I'm just trying to give you as much useful information as I possibly can give you, and I hope it was helpful. If it was, let me know. If it wasn't, let me know. If there's more that I can do for you, just leave it in the comment section. I try to answer as many comments as I possibly can, and if you just need a little bit more help, send me an email. I will answer you, and we'll work together, okay? All right, that's it.